All right. It is Monday and we are back working on the fashion show. Last week we finished up doing all of the doors finally, and I spent this a little bit time this weekend finishing up so that we don't have to do any more on stream. So what do we have down here? We have the 3 judges doors, we have 8 doors for the artists, and we have 8 doors for the models. And this is all done to make sure that they have the correct variable and tag. And we also have a cleaning station in case somebody gets the wrong tags and stuff and we need to fix it up. But today we're going to work on some more intense logic, hopefully. So I thought it would be cool if we build this in such a way that it could be used differently in the future, I guess. So potentially that means that at the beginning, the person who's going to be the admin of the show could select how many judges there's going to be and how many artists there are going to be. Something like that. Or with artists, it could be a little different. Because what if somebody, a team doesn't show up or they don't make their stuff that they're supposed to or whatever? Potentially, I could just put like an on-off on all of them, and it could be a game time decision, and I can just turn on and off the artists that are going to be there that day. I actually have to take a quick break. That's fine. We'll just see if anybody enters the stream, but I will be right back. I need a couple minutes. All right. So we want to start inventing a system where the judges will be able to do their voting systems. So I need a control room. I will need a control room of some sort. For now, I'll just build it up on top of this, I guess, where the leaderboard's going to be. So let's go ahead and give me... I think lamp would be a good thing to use here because if it's really dark or anything, I should still be able to see it. This one. So let's think about this. I have a button. Set amount judges 1. Let's go to the rules. Send that off to the rules. Set amount dot judges dot 2. Set amount judges dot 3. So depending on which one I pick, whoops, I forgot to put an indicator on them. Set judges. So set judges 1. Set judges to 2. Set judges to 3. Okay, so we're going to have some sort of variable that tells the system how many judges' votes they need to wait for, and that's what this variable is going to be. So if we create a new board, right click, move to logic room basement for now. Rename this judge selection voting system. potentially. All right, so we're going to start with these. Replace a variable, edit a number value. We're going to start with these messages that I just made up. Set amount dot judges. I'll copy that. Set amount judges 1. So let's create a integer that's global. Set amount judges. Well, something like that. Set amount judges. Create. So if it's 1, then we'll go 1. If it's judges 2, then we'll go 2. And judges 3, we go 3. So let's think of the order of events that need to happen when it's time to vote. So the show is always going to go in the same order. And the way we are going to randomize people's, whoops. Oh, because those are the judges. So they're always going to go in this order. The triangle, the aim, whatever we're going to call these, but triangle, aim, gem, square, prism, ornament, spark, ether. It'll always go in that order. So when this model is on the catwalk, then the judges are going to have the ability to vote. For this person and no other. I'm just making sure I think about all the order of events before I get started on this, because I really don't like going back and messing with things I've already done. So I have been thinking about this, but actually doing it is totally different than just pondering what it's going to be like. So it's going to be time for the show. Delta. Okay, so it's time for the show to start, and Delta gets teleported up. We're going to keep track of that with a variable. So once I teleport the model to the catwalk, we can use a variable that we changed to 1. And then we wait for the amount of votes that we need to wait for, 1, 2, or 3. It averages them out, and then it stores it for the first model slash artist, and then we move on to the next one. First things let's do, let's try to set up the key presses for the judges. So let's say that there are key inputs. And these get binded to you as a judge. Set judge 1 goes up into the rules, so we could set numbers with that. Vote 1. I don't know if I need these separated for all the different judges. Probably would be the best and easiest thing to make sure there's no problems at the end. So set judge 1. Everything's always a lot of work in GameMaker, so I should just get over it, make sure that we do it right, so that it'll work when we get to the end. Set judge 1. So message on key down. Say vote judge 1-1. And this is going to be trying to hit like a true false or something. There has to be something in the middle. But I think this will work for now. So we can tag on a no or like a dot yes. We'll need to do global variables here because we need to average out the 3 global variables. We'll get it figured out. No doubt about it. Vote 2. So this is vote judge.1.2. That doesn't change. This is going to be 3. Let's go. Just go 1 to 5 to make life easier for myself, but probably won't. 1, 3. Four. Vote 4. Vote judge 1, 4. And we'll have 5. Vote judge 1.5. Easy peasy. This one's going to be 6. Seven. Eight. We could potentially do this with some logic in the booth too, but I like to keep everything. I like to try to keep everything in the rules if I can. Sometimes that makes my life a little more complicated, but I do really like to keep everything in the rules and not have behaviors and components doing stuff for me. But if I need to do that out of necessity, we will. Okay, so we set up 1 through 9 on the keyboard for the judges to send out these messages. Vote judge 1 through 1 through 1 9 when they push them after they set judge 1. So we're going to have to do this for judge 2 and judge 3. Let's just get one judge done before we need to duplicate all of this stuff. And I might do it in Logic Board Pro too, because it's kind of easier to duplicate rules in there. Since I don't have to write out a whole message, I could just change the last numbers a lot easier in Logic Board Pro. So we're going to need some variables. We're going to need a global integer that tells us which team is on the runway. So I'm thinking of like baseball right now. There's at the plate, on deck, on the catwalk, on catwalk. I don't know. Active team on catwalk. So it'll be 0. Did I not say that? Maybe when I do that. Active team on catwalk. Create. And then there's going to be global variables for each team score. Delta team score, which is also like artist 1 or whatever. So I can remember. One. So I wanted to give the judges some sort of final answer to push the button and then be like, are you sure that you wanted to vote this number before they voted it? So that would require an asker. So how does this work? If there is a compare, vote.judge.1.1, it's going to look at the active team. If the active team is equal to 1, then we're going to have to make a message for this. It's going to be a lot of messages. Wow. It always is, though, huh? Vote.judge.1.1.delta. I'll use the names that Roxy has put on them so far. Maybe I'll do this for each judge. It's gonna be a lot of rules per judge. That's for sure. So vote.judge.1.2.delta. Oh, maybe I should do a lot more of this in Logic Board Pro. But we do have autosaves. I just don't know when was the last time it saved it. Nothing like a little goer on the home screen. Over here. All right. So we got that, and then we active team on create. Wish we could send like yes no questions out of the rules and not have to use askers. So we need to have some kind of comparison here so we know which one we're voting on. If the contestant is number 1, the Delta person, and we're voting, we need to have some way to put that over into the Delta score. Is there some way I can do that without differentiating all of the messages and keep it simpler? I might have to think through these rules a little more just to make sure I'm not doing a bunch of work I don't have to. This will definitely work, and usually I find the longest way to get there. But it works, though. I still get things to work. So I'm trying to skip a step here because there's going to be 3 judges. Judge score 1, judge score 2, judge score 3, and we need to average those scores before we assign them to the team. So there's going to have to be, yeah, I did this, and I 3 global. Score judge 1 global. Score judge 2 global. Score judge 3 global. So we need to turn on the judge's voting capability when the first person gets up there. And then I want the judges to get, are you sure you want to pick this number for your vote for this person on the catwalk? Once all 3 judges have done that, average the score, record the score for that team, and get it ready for the next contestant. What everything is going to look like as far as how the admin is going to drive the show. Is there going to be any automatic stuff? Like once the votes are done, is the person teleported off the stage? Or do I manually have to do that? I'm not 100% sure what all that looks like yet, but we need to create a system that's simple. So potentially I could use the askers here as the gatekeeper. Potentially I could use the askers here as a gatekeeper. What do I mean by that? I mean that up here is generally where the judges are going to sit. So when somebody's walking down the catwalk, blah, 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 the judges are going to be voting, and then I'm thinking that maybe the system knows that the Delta team is up, or the first team, and so it'll wait for those three. The askers will only be toggled on if somebody's on the stage. The asker will send the right message back up that keeps track of how many judges have voted and when to go ahead and average them. After it gets averaged, it'll get sent to the team's variable, and then we'll be ready for the next contestant. Oh gosh, something like that. Something like that is going to work here. I feel it in my bones. Big sure, what's up? Shakespeare in the house. It's good to see you guys. I am slowly struggling through some logic right now. Slow and steady. I'm going to use some concrete tiles because they're just so nice. Logic tile or logic donuts are pretty good to work with nowadays too, for sure. Okay. So if this is going to be an asker, this is an asker that is making sure that the judge has selected the right thing. What is this going to do? This is going to be Judge 1, asker. Have this, it'll have like that message that we just made where it's like, what was it? Vote. Vote Judge 1-1. Okay. Speaker name. Be like a judge asker. The judge asker system. Are you sure you would like to vote confirm a score of 1? Yes. No. Something like that. This is going to broadcast back into the rules. Confirm a score of 1, question mark. Yes, no. So potentially this message would be something like vote judge.1.1.yes. And I don't know what no would be, but something like maybe something that gives the judge a banner that says, you know, make a new selection. We're waiting for you. Waiting on your decision. Potentially I could build all these. Vote.judge.1.1.no. Now the big magic I think that I could do with this is the toggles. So I don't know what these messages are going to be yet, but this is what's going to keep the judges' buttons from working when they're not supposed to. So this will turn on when the first model's on the catwalk. And I'm assuming that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing with buttons to teleport the proper people to where they need to be. So this message is something like teleport. I was using all of these, but now I'm not. Potentially teleport artist one or teleport model one. Hey Nazman, thanks for dropping in. It's good to see you in chat. We're struggling through some logic right now. And then maybe the off message is like vote recorded. Something like that. So all the teleport messages would turn it off, and then once their vote is recorded, it's off. But this would be for each judge. So it'd be like vote recorded for judge 1. Judge dot 1. Because I'm going to have to know who's going to teleport in. If it's going to be the model or the artist. Because you can have a model, or you can do your own catwalk. So I'll teleport one of these people in. We should be able to use these messages. I do like to try to keep all of my logic in the rules, but I think I need to use some behaviors here, like an asker and toggle, to help make my life a little easier. Because when you try to keep absolutely everything in the rules in GameMaker, it can be very extremely overwhelming. Because you don't get access to any sort of like array or anything. You have to individualize every little thing that comes out of the rules. And it can be overwhelming, 100%. So let's see if we can devise something that doesn't make me pull all of my hair out. This probably... Actually, this message probably would. I don't know, I might have to change this. I'll probably have to change these messages. Because these are the player needed messages that get the teleports to happen. But I might be able to use them because everybody has their own particular tag. Oops. But this is definitely one of those projects where you just need to keep working on it and plugging away at it and thinking about it, and you'll have eureka moments for sure. We'll have eureka moments later on where I'll be thinking or talking to myself about how I thought this would work, and I wish I would have had the right idea at the beginning. It always happens. The trick is to just stay at it. So potentially, if these messages are the ones that turn it on, it'll turn it on at the beginning of the voting process. And it'll turn it off after their vote has been recorded. Before I go too far, today, I'm probably going to give myself the rest of the day and the night to think about where I'm going with this, to see if it is the right thing. Because there's going to be a lot of work that I need to do before I can test it. And I'm probably going to have to put together some of the rest of the show. Like, maybe just at least the first person to see if it all works. But essentially what's going to have to happen after this is the system will know if there's going to be, where we started working on today, the system will know if there's going to be 1 to 3 judges, because the admin's going to set the amount of judges. And then the system will wait for those votes to come in. The system will average them out, and then it'll assign it to the right team. That's what we need to do. So we have 3 global variables. I'm also going to need another global variable. And this is going to be like the amount of, or we'll just call it like votes total. I don't know what to call it. No. Oops. Sticky keys. No, filter keys. What? Submitted votes from judges or something like that. The submitted votes. The submitted votes. So the submitted votes is going to be waiting for one of these messages to come in, 1 through 9. And once that happens from judge 1, it'll add 1 up. And then when it happens from the next judge, it'll add another. And then from the third judge, it'll add a third. And then once this variable, submitted votes from the judges, equals 3, assuming there's 3 judges, it'll go ahead and allow this averaging math to happen. And then it'll assign it to another variable that we have to make. There's going to be a lot of variables. So this is going to be the delta, let's say, final score delta. So I'm going to use the names that Roxy gave to all the doors for now. Final score delta, or team 1. So submitted votes will pay attention to how many active judges there are. Once it gets to the active amount of judges, set amount of judges, once it gets to the active amount of judges, then it'll average. It'll either take the one vote if there's one judge. It'll average the 2 votes if there's 2 judges, and it'll average 3 votes if there's 3 judges. That's what we have to design here. And then it'll give it the final score to Team Delta. So since the active team on the catwalk is going to be 1, it'll check this, make sure it sets the correct variable, and then we'll change the active team to 2 and start the process over again for all 8 teams. So we're on to something. If we're on the right something or the wrong something, I'm not really sure, but we will definitely keep at this throughout the week, and we'll get some logic that's working. No doubt about it. This is the type of stuff that I really do enjoy doing in GameMaker, figuring out stuff I haven't done before, making systems work that I haven't gotten to work before, so I may get frustrated and annoyed, but this is the stuff that I really do love doing in the sandbox, so I appreciate everybody that stopped in today. I know their streams are really short, but I do this to try to stay consistent and keep on working and stuff, and I got my kids home for the summer, so it's tougher to stream. School year is going to start in a couple of weeks, though, and I should be back for more streaming. But yeah, I'm off to make my kids lunch now, and it was a good game today, team. We didn't make a ton of progress, but we started thinking about a lot of things that need to happen, so I appreciate all of you. Sure, OG Shakespeare, Nazman, I really appreciate you dropping into chat. It does mean a lot. So make sure all of you reach out to me if you have anything you want to talk about. I'm here for you. All right, everybody. There's nobody I'm gonna raid today, so this is gonna be it for us, and I will talk to you later.